Hougen Mania's running wild, brother.
Ushi's mentor is arriving on the scene, and she's a 4-star assassin introduced in the upcoming Little Big Tango event. She's that event's welfare, and while she doesn't look like it, she represents a tremendous departure from one of FGO's longest standing traditions. That farming assassins have to suck. Think about it. Every AoE assassin we've had to date either can't loop, or they have a massive asterisk next to their name. Assassin Nino is preemptive insta-kill, Ushi's wildly inconsistent, and Okita's always rolling the dice on whether to stun herself. Hougen though, she's different. Now let's find out why. Hougen's first skill is Eternally Peerless Blade. It's a 3-turn quick buff that also gives a 2-hit evade. Double-sided effects like this often force you to choose between defensive and offensive utility, but the evade being hit-based lets you be a lot more aggressive in using it. Just pop it with your other offensive cooldowns and you're good to go. Next up is Onmyodo, Law. It's a targeted battery and 1-turn absorption effect. The battery caps at 20%, which can help you meet refund shortfalls. Now while you can use it on your other servants, Hougen isn't really esports material, and barring an extreme emergency where you need to enable a Scotty NP, you'll typically be using this on Hougen herself. Rounding out Kiichi Hougen's skill set is Six Secret Arts of War, a 3-turn party attack and NP gain buff. The effects are modest, but quick looping is a game of inches, so you gotta take what you can get. You'll want to max all 3 of Hougen's skills if you intend to farm with her, but this and the battery are the most important ones to get done. Hougen's Noble Phantasm is Noble Demon King's Great Feather Fan, a 7-hit AoE quick attack that removes defensive buffs. After the hit, unfortunately. It also comes with a single-turn preemptive quick buff tied to overcharge. Lower-end players can use Hougen as a beatstick, but it's clear that her kit gears her towards being a quick looper. She has all the essentials, a card type buff, a battery, an NP gain buff, and a Noble Phantasm with a hit count greater than 1. Thanks, Shuten. But quick looping has always been a bit of a high roller's game. The lesser of the 2 requirements is that you have a pair of Scotties on your team. If you have Caster Scotty, great. If not, you can grab her or wait for a ruler variant 2 summers from now. The 2 have very similar kits, and for the purposes of quick farming, either one works. The other, much messier requirement is Kaleidoscope. The 100% starting charge from a max limit broken K-scope is borderline essential for the average quick looper to get anything done. But you might be thinking, what about a 0-star K-scope with a 20% charge of pen skill? Normally that'd be a good idea. Unfortunately, Little Big Tango has no rerun as of this recording, and events don't carry servant coins until Summer Da Vinci comes around. So unfortunately, Hougen isn't so friendly as to let you run her with a 0-star K-scope and a repend. You can use her battery to make up for the shortfall, but that leaves you dangerously inflexible in the middle of your run. Otherwise, you may have to resort to plug-through shenanigans with other charges like Waver, Rhaenys, Bride, Asclepius, and the like. Ideally, you'd be running Fragment of 2004 to take advantage of its NP gain and damage buffs, but sometimes you have to compromise. Now, I do have to mention that you'd pretty much only ever farm Riders with Hougen. Here's the thing about that. Riders give a very generous amount of refund back when you attack them. The reason why the lack of good farming assassins hasn't been a fatal issue is because Berserkers have filled that role so far. Extra class attackers can do it too, as long as they meet the damage check. So instead of Ushi or Okita, people just used Lancelot, or Musashi if they were into the arts life. My point is that a farming assassin isn't an absolute necessity, and it doesn't help that Hougen is tied to an off-meta card type, so you won't really be feeling her absence in high-end farming situations. So while she is a definite improvement over the current pack of degenerate assassins, she's by no means essential. That said, the opportunity cost of getting her is very low, and once you miss that train, it's gone for good, as far as we know. And if nothing else, you can always lean on the class and card type angle. Maybe you don't need an AoE quick assassin in your day-to-day, but if you're ever in a situation where you do, better to have Hougen than not. For non-farming applications, I'd run something like Traces of Christmas's Past if you need to pace yourself. Hougen's not my first pick for boss fights, but if you need an assassin to get the job done, you can make it work. Hougen's Bond CE gives party quick and NP gain buffs, but again, Hougen isn't really support material, so you're pretty much never going to use this. For some other miscellany, Kiichi Hougen has high natural debuff resistance, which means you can gamble for misses against enemies that use start a fight effects. She's also technically an unknown gender servant with the feminine-looking trait. While those 2 have synergies on paper with some servants, they don't really matter in practice. If anything, just remember that Lancer Elizabeth can't buff her. Kiichi Hougen isn't a game-breaking servant in the grand scheme of things. She's not big on gimmicks, she's quite simple and straightforward, but it's this simplicity that gives us what we've been wanting this whole time. An assassin that can get the job done, with functional hit counts and no stupid-ass gimmick getting in the way. That's the paradigm shift. The developers decided to stop fucking over assassins for no reason, and you know what? I'll take it. Also, now that Quick has exited the meta, you'll see devs getting a lot bolder in terms of what they'll let Quick teams get away with. This trend is going to come to a head this summer, with the introduction of a Quicksaber that's untethered from K-scope. But that's a story for another day. Thanks for watching. Like if you found this video useful, subscribe for more, and come watch me at twitch.tv/Finotaisen, where I stream every weekend, 3 PM Pacific time, Friday through Sunday. Till next time.